And you must be Susan Ashworth.
Well, perhaps I am.
Do you mind if I ask you where you're heading to?
I was just going for a little walk, stretch my legs, get some fresh air. Give it a rest. I'm not going anywhere.
Miss Ashworth, please relax. There's been a mistake. You have been prescribed wrong medication. I apologize sincerely on behalf of my team and the hospital, but luckily we managed to spot it on time.
On time? You have no idea what I've been through?
Once again, I'm truly sorry. I promise no more drugs will be given to you. I personally guarantee you will have a good, peaceful sleep tonight, and you can be discharged in the morning.
Why can't I go tonight? I want to go now.
I'm really sorry, but we can't legally discharge. It's too late for it now, but I promise we'll have a chat in my office first thing in the morning, okay? And then you can go home. Is that all right?
I haven't really got much choice, have I?
Now I'd like to ask you some questions about your life, Susan. You might find them very personal, but it's important that you answer me as honestly as possible.
Fine. Let's get it over with then, shall we? I'd like to go home at last.
Of course, I understand. So, Susan, let's see. Are you living alone at the moment?
I live on my own, and it suits me just fine. I don't need anyone. People mostly bore me. Sometimes they annoy me or upset me. I'm happy with how things are at the moment. I have my little bit of space, and it's my own. It's private. I'd like to keep it that way.
What do you do for a living?
I'm between jobs at the moment. I'll find something soon. But it's been difficult. I didn't feel that great. I felt weak and powerless and tired most of the time. I felt really awfully tired.
Typical depression symptoms. We can give you something for that. You'll feel stronger and motivated.
I admire your faith in modern medication, Doctor. I hope you're right.
Describe to me what your mornings look like. What is the first thing you do each day?
I put the TV on so I can watch old TV shows. There's nothing really that I must do. I tend to waste time. My life feels empty, so in a way, I keep living the life of fictional characters. I keep pretending I'm somebody else, someone better. Am I making any sense?
You are, Susan, but perhaps you are being too critical about yourself.
Well, I'm just being honest. Don't think much of myself right now.
Would you say that you feel safer at home than outside?
Yeah, I suppose. It's not really about safety. I've just felt sad for a long time now. Really sad, you know? Somehow it brings me down even more when I go out and see all those happy, successful people. It makes me feel more like a failure. If I don't see it, it doesn't hurt that much.
What do you think is missing in your life? Or rather, what is one thing that you think would make your life better?
It would be nice to have more money, I guess.
Sure, of course. Don't we all? Have you ever attended group therapy for depression or some other form of counseling?
No, I'm not sure it's a good idea. Especially the group therapy thing. I'd hate it.
You should at least give it a go first, and then decide. If you don't like it, we can think of something else, yeah?
If you insist. But I doubt it'll help.
Do you have problems sleeping?
Rarely. I sleep well most nights. If anything, I probably sleep too much.
Would you describe for me how you feel at the moment?
I feel fine now. I feel like I want to change my life for the better. Not really sure how yet, but I really want to try.
Do you find it hard to concentrate?
No, not really.
Do you drink alcohol, Susan?
Only sometimes.
I'd suggest you don't consume any alcohol at all for a while. Does that sound like something you can do?
Yeah, sure. I'm not a big drinker anyway.
Sometimes when life gets too much and people feel sad or upset, they think about suicide. Do you often think about suicide?
Well, I used to think about it sometimes. Don't you think about it when you're really down?
Susan, I'm a psychiatrist. My job is to talk people out of it. Would you ask a fireman if he ever thinks about setting fire to his house?
I suppose not. But I'm sure lots of people have times when they do think about it.
I couldn't say, Susan. The statistics show that men are 3 times more likely than women to commit suicide. That puts you in the minority. But of course, that's missing the point. Suicide is never the solution. There's always a way of solving whatever problem you might have.
I realize that now.
Please, in your own words, try to explain to me, why did you really try to take your own life, Susan?
It was just a sudden impulse. I'm ashamed of it now. I had a really rotten day, you know? I felt like I was suffocating between the 4 walls of my bedroom. It just would get worse and worse. By the afternoon, I realized I cried for the past 3 hours. I didn't even know I'd been crying until I went to the bathroom and saw my face in the mirror. I looked like a ghost. I looked like I was dead already, you know? And then I saw the sleeping pills. I thought, why not? And I did it.
Do you feel as if you're a burden, or that life isn't worth living?
Sometimes, when I feel really low, I used to think everyone would be happier without me. But I guess people don't really care. Besides, I live alone. Who could I be a burden to?
What makes you feel better?
A long bath. It's how I relax. A hot, long bath and a good book. That's the first thing I'll do when I get home.
What makes you feel worse?
It's hard to say. It could be anything. Sometimes it could be just little things. The way my hair looks, shoes I can't find, when I run out of milk. I get angry with myself for being clumsy, for not being able to cheer up and just get on with things like everyone else.
Have you imagined your funeral and how people will react to your death?
Oh, but I guess it would be a cheap one. I don't really know what they do with people, like maybe they just throw us in a hole and forget about it, since there'd be nobody to visit my grave anyway.
I don't think so, Susan. The city would pay for it.
Or so they want people to.
Finally, I'd like you to tell me about Eric.
Eric?
Yes, your husband. I believe this might be important. What can you tell me about your relationship? What had happened between you two?
It's getting late. Can we talk about it some other time?
Fine. I suppose you've opened enough for one day. Okay, one more question. This is just